Hello, everybody. In this screencast, we're going to look at CocoaPods and how to integrate pods into your projects. So, what are pods? Are these CocoaPods is this dependency manager for Swift. In simple terms, it allows you to import, configure, and include libraries that were created by other people or other developers into your code. That makes you develop smarter, quicker applications without building or reinventing the wheel on a lot of libraries. So basically, CocoaPods, if you go to cocoapods.org, as you can see here, basically it's a website which allows you to install CocoaPods. You can also search for pods and so on. So basically I can search for pods like alert pods, alert dialogues. You can see it shows you all the pods that it has here. Like for example, if I pick, say, the first one, it shows me its Objective-C, it shows me the total number of downloads, and so on. Usually it has some form of a picture that shows you what the pod looks like, and so on. For example, a pod that we're going to use today as a demo is the PKHUD, which is this one. And basically this pod allows you to show alert dialogues that look like this. And basically it looks like this, or or in progress, or if it succeeds, it shows a checkbox, a check mark, or it shows an X when it failed, and so on. So that's the library that we would like to use today. But anyhow, so CocoaPods is very important, and we are going to use it for the next couple of demos that we're going to show, and you'll see how important it is for making your apps smarter and easier to. So you use a library so that you can reuse that library in a lot of projects that you have, and so on. Okay, so now you can also see how many downloads. So basically this is 1.6 million downloads for this library, and so on. So now let's get started. So I'll open Xcode, right? I'll create a new project, create a new Xcode project. Very straightforward, the same process that we follow every time. I'll create a single view application. Next. Let's call it test pods or test CocoaPods. Okay, just for our demo, let's call it demo. Okay, create that, create it. So I created just a project so that we can start from there. Okay, perfect. So now what I have to do is, this project has no pods in it yet. Okay, so I'll close Xcode. Okay, I'll go to the folder where the project is. As you can see here, here's the folder where the project is, and you can see it's just, this is the project that we just created, right? Then I will do control space. It opens the search, the spotless search, and I'll try terminal. It opens the terminal for me. So here's the terminal, right? I need to go to that folder in the terminal to be able to create my CocoaPod. So to do that, I'll just go to CD, and I'll just drag and drop. It will put the whole path of where that file is. I'm here, and I'll say ls, and it shows me that it has two files inside it. Okay, it has two files. Now to initialize pod, you just say pod init, and basically here I'm assuming that CocoaPods is already installed on the device. If not, just follow the instructions under CocoaPods here, and it will show you exactly how to install it. If you go here, you'll see this is how you install it. Okay, you can see here they tell you how to install it, but in our case we don't have to install it because it's already on our machines that are on in the lab. Okay, so basically to do pod init, okay, so once you do pod init, you will see that the folder now has a file which is called pod file. Okay, in that pod file it has the configuration file that CocoaPod needs in order to import the libraries that are needed. Okay, so now if we open it, you can open it with text edit, any text editor. So I'll use Sublime Text. Okay, so here it is. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so basically now when we look at it, we insert the pods that we need here for the demo project that we have. Now, which pod how do I get this pod? If you scroll down a little bit here, you will see that they have installed for Swift 4.x, include the following in your pod file. So I'll just copy this and include that into my pod file here. Okay, and I'll save it. Control S, I saved it. I go back to the terminal. Now, pod init initializes the pod, right? Now, pod install will actually install that library into our project. Click here, and you can see that it did go through, it installed it, and we're good to go. Okay, as long as there is no red here, we're good to go. Okay, everything is either green or yellow. This means yellow is just a warning. Okay, so when we go back here, you will see that there is the project and then there is the workspace. We'll not touch the project. From now on, we'll use the workspace. The workspace includes our project and the project for the pods that are included. Okay, in this case, we only have one pod. So double click, and you can see that now you have I double clicked on the workspace, right? So if we go back again to the folder, you'll see I double clicked on the workspace file. I didn't double click on the project file. Don't touch the project file, just touch the workspace file. You double click on it, it opens this. Now you have your project file. Now let's have a little bit of a look at the project file. So now when you look at the project file, you will see there is a pods project and there is your project. Now you can see here there is a view controller, and you could see that inside the view controller you can import PK hood. So basically you can import the library if you need it, right? So that's one thing to consider, right? Now let's go back to the browser and see how to use this. How can I use it? So basically it shows you that you could do hood flash success, and I want one which does a progress. So let's say, how do we do the hood flash success? Let's copy this and see what does this do. So basically let's add a button just to see how to use the library. I'll add a small button. When you click the button, it shows this hood success thing. Okay, add a button. Okay, here it is. Adding a button to the view controller. Add some constraints. Add it to the center of the screen. Okay, and then we'll add the click handler or the alert. Go here, we'll say button clicked, and basically I could go here and say hood.flash.success, and delay 1 means that it will show the success for, let's do, let me make it 2 so that you at least get a little bit of time. .success, hood.flash.success, just will show the check mark, and then after 2 seconds it's going to dismiss it. Okay, so now we run it, and you can see it's compiling and so on, and now it's gonna launch. It will show the view controller, here it is, and the view controller have a button here, and then we'll just click on the button and see if the hood gets shown. So we clicked here, and you can see the checkbox was shown. Excellent. So basically, to use these libraries, you have to really drill down and look at how the library works. Sometimes they have some help in the CocoaPods, and in most of the cases they have a link to their GitHub repository. So now when I click here on the GitHub repository, it takes me to the GitHub repo, and you can see, you can look at the repository. It seems that it has the same documentation. So most of the libraries will have an example, a demo. So if you click on the demo in the repo, you could see that it has a view controller demo. And we look here, for example, we can have one that shows progress. Okay, so now let's copy this one, and instead of showing a flash, just success, we'll just show the progress. So when you run this, you will see when you click the button, it will show a progress, and that is useful when you're downloading something, updating something, and you could see here it shows a progress, and after 2 seconds it goes. Some cases you don't want it to go after 2 seconds, you want it to go when the request comes back, or you ask for something from the server, and when the server responds, you want to remove it. In that case, you just remove that delay part, because you could see that there is a hood.flash, and you can just pass it something without a time interval. In that case, it doesn't need a flash, but in that case, you have to have some other code that's going to remove it. As there is hood.flash, there is hood.hide, I think. Hood.hide. You see, you can hide something, right? Excellent. So basically, this is a very quick introduction on how to use CocoaPods. I used one library, which is the PK hood, right? When you look at the pods, this is the pod file, by the way. You can edit it here if you want. And we looked at PK hood and how to integrate it into our app. It's straightforward, and the steps are: you create a project, you put pod in it, it creates the pod file for you. You add the pods that you want, and then after you add the pods you close the browser. You close Xcode, and then you do pod install. And then once after that, you just open the workspace and you go from there. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.